So what we're going to do is jump into the worksheet, and this is just our basic keyword builder template. We will make this available to everyone. See the link down in the description, but basically this is just an easy way to gather a bunch of keywords related to the seed keyword that we have. So the first thing you want to do is come up with your seed keyword. And this will vary. I mean, it could be 2 to 3 different terms. It could be one term. And in this case, just to keep it simple. But this is really the main topic or the main point of your website or your blog. Depends on what you're trying to create. So for this example, we're going to be using Affinity Designer just as a random example. But essentially, this is the seed keyword that we're going to use to gather information on all the different sources that we're going to use to build our keyword list. So just really quickly, the sources that we're going to get some keyword ideas from are Google Suggest. So we'll show you how to do that. Actually running a search and using the Google searches related to. Google Trends is good for related and trending keywords. And then the keyword planner, also good for suggested relevant keywords directly from Google itself. And then the last tool that we're going to be using is the Ahrefs. You can use a bunch of different tools, some of them paid, some of them free. We like to use it as the last step in the process, and we'll show you exactly what we do with that one as well. So what you're going to do is come in here and come up with your seed keywords. And this is interesting to note. If you do have more than one seed keyword, you'll obviously do the process over for each of them and kind of stack these lists up to build one main list. For this purpose is just to keep it very simple. We're going to use one seed keyword. So we'll go into a Google browser, and it's important that you actually use the main search bar on the page versus the navigation bar, just because it will make it easier to copy some of these things over. So what you're going to do is either type or paste into Google search bar just what your seed keyword or seed keywords are one at a time. And basically you can see here that Google suggests a bunch of other keywords that are relevant and frequently searched by users of Google. So what we'll do is we'll actually take each one of these that is relevant to our purposes. So if there's something on here that's way off, you may want to just leave that out because that will pull in other related terms that aren't related as well. But basically take all of these, and just to simplify this process, we've already done this over here. So go to the Google Suggest portion of the worksheet and just basically type these in here for the Google Suggest terms. The next thing we're going to do is actually run the search for the seed keyword. And you'll see that, obviously you have your main SERP page with different features on it. People also ask, is something helpful? If you don't have a tool like Ahrefs, this might be something nice to actually capture these as well. A lot of the questions are actually captured on Ahrefs, so we won't have to worry about that. But you could just copy these down or note these down if you wanted to, if that's helpful. But what we're going to be looking for here is the Google searches related to. So go all the way down to related searches, and basically we're going to copy each one of these as well. There might be some duplicates on here. So if you know what the duplicates are, you obviously don't have to copy those over. If you want to just copy them all just to make it easier, you can do that as well. So again, under the related searches, we're going to put these under here. As you'll see here, we already did. The next one we're going to do is copy the seed keyword and go over to Google Trends. So Google Trends is another way to kind of capture related terms, and it's also a good way to capture terms that are actually popular for a certain time frame. Um, and you'll be able to see that you can change these depending on what term you want to use, what market you're looking to use, if there's any categories or the type of search. So if you're doing something specifically to show up in images, you can use image search, Google Shopping for e-commerce purposes, and then YouTube search for YouTube's if you're looking to produce video content as well. But what we're going to do is use our seed keywords, and if you have multiple seed keywords, you can obviously compare these to get a kind of a view of which one's more popular. So that gives you a little bit of insight there. And then for each one of them, you can actually come down and there is this box called related queries. So related queries is actually very nice because you can either see the top terms, which are helpful to know which ones are the most popular, or the rising terms. So rising terms, for this instance, there is no rising terms, but there are, top terms that we can take here. So we've already taken the ones that are unique. Some of these are already been captured before. So we'll take any ones that are unique here, and we'll basically put them into the Google Trends related and trending keywords. The next one we want to do is head over to Google Ads. And Google Ads, you can see we already ran the search here, but Google Ads, you can actually put in your seed keyword or related keywords and essentially run a search in the keyword planner. And keyword planner will give you related relevant terms that Google considers relevant to your actual term. So it's something important to note here. There are suggested terms, so you can also take these if there's any relevant there. Some of those might be included down here, so we find it best just to take these terms. And then you can also refine your terms as well. So if you want to have general themes and you don't want to have brands mentioned, you can exclude brands. There's other filters here depending on what the actual topic is. So it might be locations, it might be the type of service, other key refinements that you can make to make the relevance as I'm sorry, the keywords as relevant as you possibly can to what you're trying to accomplish. So just take them from there. If there's any filtering that needs to be done, you can do that here. And then you can also, if there's not a ton of keywords, you can actually select all and then go through the list if you really want to get granular about it and deselect the ones that don't make it sense or are not relevant. So what you're going to want to do from here, you can download the actual list. We do everything on Google Sheets, but you can also do it as a CSV file. So we'll do this, and then essentially what you get spit out of there is this. So the Google Sheets, you can go in here and just copy all of the keywords from the report. If you do not have this is something else worth noting, if you don't have a Ahrefs account or a SEMrush account or something that will give you volumes for a larger list of keywords, you can also just take from here the monthly searches. And same with the Google Trends and other tools as well. Some of those you should be able to gather the average monthly searches. Where we have a tool like Ahrefs and SEMrush, etc., we're just going to actually take the terms themselves because we're going to get that data from the Ahrefs tool. So we'll take these, we'll copy them, and then we're going to dump them into the keyword planner related keywords right here. So now that we have our list of keywords kind of built up, including the C keywords, the Google Suggest keywords, and the keywords built from other sources, we're basically going to take this list, we're going to copy the entire thing, and we're going to put it into our tool Ahrefs. So there is different tools out there. Ahrefs is obviously not the only one out there. We like it just for what it actually offers. Some individuals, SEOs, etc., have multiple tools. We just find that it's um, good enough to use for our purposes. So regardless of what your tool is, you're going to want to pop them into the keyword finder or keyword research function of your tool. And then you can go in here and actually get the full list. So the first thing that's going to pop up is actually just the keywords that you put in here in general. Um, but what we actually want to do, this is the list that we put in there. So if you're happy with the list you don't want to expand it for whatever reason, you think there's enough in there to keep you happy, you can just essentially take, this list and export it as is. But what we want to do, I mean, what the purpose of this process is to actually find out and build a list of, other related terms, right? So within here, we see the total list that we popped in. We want to go to matching terms. And then we want to go to phrase match. So phrase match will give us related terms that you can see it in here that actually use the phrases in the order they're written. You can also, if you want to expand it a little bit more, go to terms match, and terms match you'll see in here is the words that you provided in any order. So that expands it a little bit. You can see here it's 10,707 versus the phrase match, which is 10,499. So you get a little bit more out of the terms match. They just might be a little loosely connected. The other way that you can filter this too, just from a general high level perspective, if you're looking just for questions, so if you're focusing on, frequently asked questions, or, questions to answer as blog posts, things of that nature, you can go to the questions filter. If you want all of them included, basically everything in there, you can just go into all. So the other ways that you can kind of filter this out is keyword difficulty, which Ahrefs basically ranks different keywords and how difficult it is to rank for those specific keywords. So if you're a well-established website with a higher DA, and you know how to get the backlinks, and everything else kind of falls into place, you can certainly go with higher keyword difficulty words. For this example, we're going to assume that this is a new website or a newer website with not so much domain authority and link juice and everything else. So we're going to put in here an arbitrary number of 25. Um, and for the volume, we want to find things that are, new website. We're probably going to be focusing on things that are a little bit longer keyword, longer tail keywords to hit more of the niches. So we'll put in here 100. We're not going to maximize it at a very high level, but essentially what we want to do is find keywords that make the most sense for us. And then, other things in here. So if you're looking to, build blog posts and things like that that have videos that show up on the SERP. You can filter it by videos. If you're looking for people also ask, shopping results, if you're in e-commerce, you want to kind of hit those. Or if you're using this for PPC purposes as well, or maybe you want to use it for both, you can select which ones have top ads served and which ones have bottom ads served from Google. As well as if you're trying to hit images, top stories, there's other things in here that you can basically filter these on. So what we're going to do when we come up with the final list after we kind of narrowed it down is essentially go through the process of exporting this. So when we export this list, this is essentially what we'll get out of it. We'll have the list, and then when we have that list, the export, you can actually take that and copy and paste it into the keyword list tab of the worksheet. So the keyword list is just a master list of keywords that meet your criteria. So obviously keywords that are related to the C keyword and your topic of your website or your blog that match your criteria in terms of keyword difficulty, volume, as well as any SERP features and other things that kind of go in there. And then you'll also be able to see a lot of information here as well. You can even with Ahrefs, you can actually export the SERP data, which it adds a lot more fields to the actual output itself. But basically, this is what you'll get out of this, and this is the list that you'll be able to build. And then the nice thing here is as well, you can have a list of all of the keywords, and then you can also see the parent topic keywords. So the parent topic is actually a nice way to kind of filter these out and see if there is a parent topic that you can hit instead of a individual keyword to try to rank for as many keywords as possible that fall under that parent topic. So what you're going to have when you finish up this process, which is, I think we just did this in, less than 10 minutes, is basically a list of keywords that you can use that will give you a good chance of ranking for the life cycle of your website or your blog, as well as content to produce for hopefully a while down the road. So this is it. If you want to download this worksheet, you can certainly do that. We'll leave a link for that in the description of the video or the blog post, depending on where you're reading this. And then if you have any questions, certainly leave comments below, or if you have any additional tips, I think it will be helpful for everyone to kind of, get those tips watching this video. So certainly leave those in the comments below as well. And if you have any questions for us specifically, leave those in the comments and we'll make sure to get back to you. All right. Thank you very much, guys. And hopefully we'll talk soon. Other videos that we'll be doing in the future around similar processes, how to do these basic things for keyword and content to get you guys going on the entire process.